They called him a spoiled cricketer, just another playboy. They warned him that politics would chew him up and spit him out, that it was a game he could never win. But Imran Khan didn't just play the game, he changed the rules. He wasn't content with just winning on the cricket pitch. He wanted to challenge an entire system. From lifting the World Cup to building hospitals, he inspired millions with a vision for a new Pakistan. But his journey wasn't without a heavy price. This isn't just a biography, it's the emotional story of a man who dared to stand alone, refusing to bow to pressure, and what that ultimately cost him. Imran Ahmad Khan Niazi was born into comfort, but destiny had other plans for him. From the very beginning, there was something restless in him. Something that didn't quite fit into the quiet expectations of privilege. As a young boy growing up in Lahore, he was shy, awkward even, often lost in his own thoughts. Teachers didn't see a future star. Relatives didn't predict greatness. Yet inside him burned a strange hunger not for attention, but for purpose. When he first picked up a cricket bat, he wasn't extraordinary. He failed more than he succeeded. Teammates whispered that he lacked discipline. Critics said he was too soft, too emotional. But Imran had one rare quality. He listened to failure. Every defeat carved something deeper into him. He trained harder, pushed his body further, and slowly transformed himself, not just physically, but mentally. He wasn't just playing a game. He was fighting an internal battle against his own limitations. His shyness morphed into a quiet, focused intensity. The awkward boy became a figure of undeniable presence. This wasn't just about cricket anymore. It was about forging an identity from the fires of doubt and criticism. While others saw a gifted athlete, what was truly being built was a leader. Someone who understood that true strength isn't about avoiding falls, but about how you get back up, stronger and more determined than before. Every dropped catch, every missed wicket, was a lesson in resilience. He learned to channel his emotions, turning what critics called a weakness into a source of unwavering passion. The world saw a rising cricket star, but beneath the surface, a different kind of legend was being born, one built not on talent alone, but on pure, relentless grit. This transformation from a quiet, uncertain boy to a powerhouse on the cricket field was more than just a sports story. It was a preview of the man he was to become. The same fire that fueled his bowling attack would later ignite a nation's hope. He learned early on that to achieve the impossible, you have to be willing to stand alone, to believe in a vision when no one else does, and to push beyond every known limit. This journey, filled with setbacks and solitary struggles, was the crucible that forged his character. It taught him that greatness isn't bestowed. It's earned through sweat, sacrifice, and an unshakable belief in a purpose larger than oneself. England changed him. At Oxford, surrounded by the world's brightest minds and ancient traditions, Imran felt a mix of inspiration and deep loneliness. He saw firsthand how powerful systems worked, how true leadership was built on solid institutions, not just personalities. Lying awake in his dorm room, night after night, his thoughts drifted back home. He'd often wonder why his own country, so full of potential, always seemed to be struggling. Why are we always behind? He once asked a friend, a question that would echo in his mind for years to come. That question never left him. On the cricket field, his journey was a slow, grueling climb. It was a path marked by undeniable talent, but also by constant setbacks. Injuries broke him, again and again. There was a moment, a dark one, when doctors delivered the devastating news that his career might be over. He found himself alone in a sterile hospital room, staring at his bandaged leg, fighting back tears. "If this is the end," he whispered to the empty room, "then I failed without ever giving my best." In that moment of near despair, he made a silent promise to himself. If life gave him another chance, Hustwan Mori, he would never, ever live small again. The 1992 Cricket World Cup became the ultimate test of that promise. It was his moment of truth. Pakistan entered the tournament as the underdog, completely written off. Fans had lost hope. Commentators openly laughed at their chances. But Imran Khan was different. He refused to accept defeat before the battle had even begun. Standing before his team, the iconic tiger emblem on his chest, he spoke not with the authority of a captain, but with the quiet conviction of a true believer. "We are not here to participate," he said. his voice calm but firm. "We are here to win." What followed was nothing short of a miracle. Against all odds, against far stronger and more favored teams, Pakistan fought their way to the final. And then they won. When Imran raised that glittering trophy, tears streamed down his face, not just tears of victory, but tears of redemption. It was the culmination of a promise made in a lonely hospital room. Fame followed wealth. The world celebrated him as a hero. Yet, in a strange and unsettling way, he felt empty. The roar of the stadiums, once a source of fuel, began to feel hollow. Traveling through the remote villages and bustling cities of Pakistan, he saw a different reality. He saw children sleeping on the streets, hungry. He saw hospitals without basic medicine, mothers begging for help for their sick loved ones. The cheers of the cricket grounds faded, replaced by the silent suffering he witnessed every day. Then, one incident shattered his world completely. He watched a poor cancer patient die, not because the disease was unbeatable, but because they couldn't afford the treatment. That moment broke him. "This is not the Pakistan I want," he said, his voice trembling with a mixture of grief and anger. From that profound pain, a new purpose was born. The Shukat Khanam Memorial Cancer Hospital. It was a dream that seemed impossible. People mocked him. Politicians laughed. A cricketer building a cancer hospital. They scoffed. Donations were slow to come in. Doubt was everywhere he turned. But Imran was relentless. He went door to door, country to country, not just asking for money, but asking people to share his belief, to trust in the vision. When the hospital finally opened its doors, offering world-class cancer treatment completely free to the poor, it was a monumental achievement. On that first day, Imran didn't stand in the spotlight. He stood silently in a corner, watching people who had been given a death sentence by poverty walk in with hope in their eyes. This, he felt, this was real victory. This was more fulfilling than any trophy. But he soon realized that charity alone wasn't enough to fix the deep-rooted problems. To change a nation, you had to change the system. Politics came next, not out of personal ambition, but out of sheer frustration. He believed the country deserved better. So, in 1996, he formed his own political party, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, the Movement for Justice. In the beginning, almost no one joined. His first elections were humiliating defeats. He lost again and again, sometimes winning only a few hundred votes. His closest friends, concerned for his legacy, advised him to quit. "You're ruining your reputation," they warned him. Alone in his house at night, doubt would creep in. "Am I fighting a battle too big?" he would ask himself. But every single time, he came back to the same unshakable answer. Silence was worse. To stand by and do nothing was not an option. So he kept going. The years passed. His hair turned from black to gray, and slowly, very slowly, things began to change. The youth of Pakistan started to listen. His message a simple but powerful call for justice, dignity, and self-respect touched something deep within the soul of the nation. The empty rooms of his early political days were replaced by massive rallies, seas of people waving flags and chanting his name. Still, true power remained stubbornly out of reach. The old guard, the established political dynasties, held a firm grip on the country. When he finally became prime minister in 2018, after a 22-year struggle, it wasn't a feeling of triumph that washed over him. It was the immense, crushing weight of responsibility. The system he had vowed to change resisted him at every turn. Old political forces fought back with everything they had. Mistakes were made along the way. The expectations of a nation were brutal and unforgiving. But the story doesn't end there. His journey from a cricket legend to a philanthropist and a political leader is a complex tapestry of incredible highs and devastating lows. It's a story of a man who refused to live small, who dared to dream of a different future for his country, and who was willing to sacrifice everything for that dream. It's a story about resilience, about fighting for what you believe in, even when the world tells you it's impossible. And it's a story that continues to unfold, reminding us that the path to change is never easy, but the fight is always worth it. He saw it as an unfinished responsibility, a duty that still called to him. He was a political outsider, and the established order made sure he felt it. Election nights were especially cruel. Imran, ever composed, Jess smiled faintly and replied, "I didn't learn cricket in one match either." He spent his time reading extensively, delving into history, philosophy, and Islamic thought. He would just smile. "Apologies are for mistakes," he replied. His critics still argued passionately against him. His supporters still cried for him, and Imran Khan, once again, stood at the epicenter of the chaos, not as a simple hero, not as a clear-cut villain, but as a powerful, complex symbol. History will judge him far differently than today's screaming headlines. Some will undoubtedly remember his mistakes and his political miscalculations. Others will remember his courage and his unwavering resolve. But one thing no one can deny is this: he shook Pakistan awake. And sometimes, the process of awakening hurts much more than staying asleep.